Alright, so we have a new project that I hope that you ladies can be excited about, and it has to do with fabrics, textiles, laces, trims, all of the above. And what I would like to do is make, well, there's various names for these. If you go Google them on the internet, and if you look at them on YouTube. But basically, they're either called textile collages or quilt art. And basically, your background, what you start off with, your base, is a piece of fabric. And then after that, it is really only limited by your imagination. You can use all all types of textiles, anything you really want. You can also sew paper to it. You can paint it. Like I said, it's only limited by your imagination. So a few of us have been trying to make some test ones and see how it would go, what kind of size would work, what kind of size doesn't. And we've come to the conclusion that it should not be any smaller than 6 by 6 and no larger than 10 by 10. This particular one here is 10 by 10. And I have here a few pieces of fabric just so I can lay them on here so you can get an idea of what we are talking about. I have here, this is from, this particular piece right here is from a old curtain. This is also from an old curtain. I had these samples of I guess they were curtain samples, and somebody gave them to me. They were pieces about, I guess, 8 by 8. And so I took one of those and I cut out a dress form and made a little fringe out. I took some of the threads out from the top and the bottom. So I figured maybe I could put that right there. I like this picture, so I want to put that somewhere around here. This is from a waistband from a skirt I tore apart, so I'm going to end up somehow sewing that on there. And then I have this little trim, and I think I want to sew that on there. Let's see. I have some little pieces of leftover. This also was an old curtain. I was all falling apart. Somebody gave it to me. This, I don't know where this is from, but I had tea-dyed some of this for another project that I had. So this is a little leftover piece, and I thought I would maybe put these ladies here, not sure, just a thought. It can always change. And I have a piece of this old lace. I don't know where that came from. People give me stuff, I just say, okay. And then that can be so it opens and closes. I'll put another piece of this here and maybe sew that. Something like that. I'm still not sure. It's still in progress. But this gives you an idea of what we are talking about. Then we would sew it all up, and this is what we would swap with one another. Then once we would receive these swaps, there's various things you could choose to do. Depending if it's all fabric or if they incorporate papers or whatever they do, you could turn this into a pillow. You could turn it into a wall hanging. What I personally want to do is, once I get my swaps, I'm just going to put grommets in here, and I'm just going to make a what I'm going to call a textile collage album, and I'll just have various pages of the different work that hopefully I will get from the different participants, and of course the ones that I make myself. But this is what we are talking about, and this is what I'm proposing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew this together, and then I will show you what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, so this is my finished page. I kind of like it. I found some trim to put on here, so I added that from what I showed you from the beginning. And also the picture that I was going to put here, I decided to put it underneath because it was so sheer, and I thought it gave it a different look. I like that. Let me see. On here I sewed two pieces of ephemera here, and then put a little bit of the lace on there. And this is still, I still could put something down here. I haven't decided yet if I will or not, but that's a possibility. And I still could put something on here too to cover that all up. And some more lace over this. And I like it. I think this will work. Now when we do these, we are only going to decorate the front side and leave the back bare. What I think will happen is, of course, if you do a pillow or a wall hanging, you won't see this anyway. But if you turn it into a book, then you could either yourself, if you decide to line it, I like just leaving it the way it is myself, or if you get the other page that you get, put them back to back, and then you can slip stitch them together and create, you know, a page that way. But as far as the swap is concerned, we are only going to be concerned about the one side. And keep in mind, which I already see I made a mistake, keep in mind that if they are going to sew something around the trim, if they're going to turn it into a pillow, or they're going to line it for a wall hanging or something, don't have things like I just did right here, because then they wouldn't be able to obviously sew it. They'd have to cut that off. So be mindful of that. These technically should not be there. And I think that's it. The first ones we do, there will be no theme. That'll be a lot easier for all of us to find, you know, how we feel comfortable making these and if we enjoy them or not. And if we find interest and they want to continue doing the swaps, then maybe eventually we can do some pages with some themes. So I say pages, you know what I mean. The textile collages, how we call them, or art quilt pages. They have a lot of different titles, but anyway, this is it. Let me know what you think, and we'll see if there's interest in doing these collages. I'll post a few pictures of some that have already been made by a few in the group, and I'll also will post some pictures of some that I saw on Pinterest to give an idea of what they can look like, because this is actually my first one, so I'm sure we can, you know, get a lot more ideas and apply it to the same process. Alrighty, let me know what you guys think. Thank you.